What's good, everyone? It's your favorite editor, Sahlos, who is spending a little quality time with you because, like I said in the previous episode, the audio file kind of got screwed over, so I had to delete the commentary. So we're just gonna be spending a little bit quality time together. Like I said, if you want to watch the fight without my beautiful voice talking over the fight, then you can go over to my Instagram page at Sahlos right here, and you can watch the fight there. But if not, then maybe you want to hear my reaction to La Primera, which, unfortunately, I'm sorry. I've recorded this about 2 weeks ago, and I still don't have anything really to say about this fight because this champion was just so underwhelming. Coming off of BDSP, and I know people have their issues with BDSP. That's a whole discussion for itself. I could go on a whole rant about that. But one thing that game did very well, and I know people have controversial takes on it, is that it had a very challenging Elite Four and a very challenging champion, which I think is fair for the final dungeon of a video game. I think the final dungeon should be the one that tests your mastery of the game and really makes you utilize the mechanics the game has given to you to its absolute fullest. So I think it's fine if the Elite Four and the champion of the entire region are a bit harder than the rest of the game. I think that's just fair. I know that's apparently a controversial take, I guess. But yeah, so I get the argument for La Primera's team, that they're supposed to represent the 5 biomes of the Paldea region, that Go-Go's supposed to represent the mountains, that Avalug's supposed to represent the Glacial Mountains, the Mount Everest of the game. Glamour's supposed to represent Area Zero. I get all of that. And Espathra's like the desert. I get it. I get it. But my counter argument to that is, if you can't make a proper team that represents all 5 biomes, then what's the freaking point? Because I know people gave Leon a bunch of crap before being this OP Omni-Man type hero, but I actually kind of struggle with Leon. Leon actually kind of classed me a little bit. So I feel like that the champion you shouldn't, like, for conventions and cutesy stuff like that, just give us a strong champion. Give us another Cynthia. We haven't had a girl boss champion since Cynthia. Diantha, poor sweetie, she tried her hardest. But yeah, so I went in and I took the liberty of making La Primera's team, and I'm gonna try to fix it up the best I can. So without any further ado, here is how I would fix La Primera. So first off, I think the most obvious thing we can do for this girl is that we can make her quote-unquote ace her lead, which is how I devised this team is going to be a lot more effective than you think it will be. So a lot of people know Glamora as the mon that just kind of sets up toxic debris with toxic spikes and just dies. But you also got to remember that Glamora here has 130 special attack. So we are still going to lean into that whole thing. And also BDSP, they have shown us that they are not afraid to EV train champion teams and give them items. So yeah, La Primera here has EV trained Pokemon, and they're all holding items. So yeah, there's that to it too. So this is going to be like her quote-unquote disposable Pokemon, but what Focus Sash does is that it basically guarantees you get up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes before you go down, thanks to your ability, Toxic Debris. So she's more likely just going to get up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, a Stealth Rock, and just die. So that's fine. But if she does manage to live, or you manage to sleep on that thing, you switch out or something, then she's going to be able to hit you with her 130 special attack stat with Sludge Wave or Power Gem. So yeah, not to be underestimated. But congratulations, you took down her Glamora. Next up, which I'm very surprised that not a single trainer in the game had this, Golden Go. I am very surprised that no one in the game had this Pokemon. There might have been a trainer somewhere who had this Pokemon out in the wild. You guys have really been watching my playthrough, so you know I didn't really fight too many trainers. So if there was a trainer out there who had Golden Go on their team, then pop off, I guess. But like Cynthia had Spiritomb because you're very unlikely that you were to see a Spiritomb throughout your journey. So I feel like that people are very unlikely to see Golden Go if you didn't go out your way to collect all those coins, which I know most people did not. So what I've given her is the set, a Choice Scarf set with Trick, Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, and Thunderbolt. Not only is this just nice spammable coverage, but if you guys remember back in the Pokemon World Tournament in Black and White 2, one of the most fearsome competitors there was Red, because he would do a strategy which he had a Choice Scarf Blastoise that spammed Water Spout. And Make It Rain isn't quite as strong as Water Spout. It is actually 120 base power versus Water Spout's 150 base power, but it's still coming off a pretty strong move. So the fact that you can just throw that off is going to be pretty nasty. So if she does decide to switch it out, then if it does come back in and it tricks one of your mon to Choice Scarf, while Choice Scarf can potentially help you out if you use it correctly, then it also is going to cripple you because you can only use one move. And if you're switching around, you're getting toxic all of your team because of toxic debris. So yeah, it's really here to really screw you up. But congratulations, you beat Golden Bro. So who's up next? We have Hippowdon who is up next, who is going to have Slack Off, Body Press, Earthquake, and Stone Edge. Now, if you guys can see here, he's just pretty much the physical tank of the team, but his only job is to set up Sandstorm. If you guys know anything about competitive Pokemon, I think you guys might know where this is going. But if you don't get it just yet, just wait on it, okay? But he does have some pretty good stuff to him. He has Body Press, so if you do come in here with like Will-O-Wisp or something, what Body Press does is it does damage based off of your defense stat versus your attack stat. So it's a nice way for Hippowdon to do guaranteed damage to you no matter what. And Slack Off is here just to be annoying. It's pretty much like Cynthia's Milotic a little bit, if you can think about it that way. I know I'm referencing Cynthia a lot, but considering that she is like the golden standard of trainers, I think that that's how you're going to be able to kind of put in your mind what this team can really do. So, you've beaten Hippowdon. And granted, this was the weak link of the team. Hatterene right here. I have allowed for myself to have two non-Paldean Pokemon, and considering that her team is barely Paldean at all, so I think that's fair. So we replaced the Avalugg and the Go-Goat with Hippowdon and Hatterene. And Hatterene, granted, isn't the best Pokemon either, but I think that is significantly better than what she had originally. And it does have a pretty meaty special attack stat, 136. So I gave it Calm Mind, Drain Kiss, Psychic, and Nuzzle. Nuzzle is here just to spread paralysis if you weren't already paralyzed. If you weren't already toxic from the toxic debris. It's here just to be more annoying. Draining Kiss is here for sustain. Calm Mind, if you sleep on it too much, then it's going to basically heal up all the damage it did. And a Psychic coming off 136 special attack is going to hurt a lot. So yeah, congratulations. You finally beat Hatterene, probably the weakest member of her team. But now we get into the broken territory. I am very surprised not a single trainer had this Palafin right here. And we're not really, she can come in, she can flip turn whenever she desires, but Palafin here is actually broken once it goes from 0 to hero. So with the set I gave it is Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Jet Punch, and Flip Turn. It's pretty much just going to be bulking up and jet punching and drain punching most of the time, but water fight coverage is actually pretty OP. So I think that's going to be a lot hard for a lot of people to deal with. I've given it an Adamant Nature here just for that jet punch, just to be spamming and punch as many holes as possible. And by this point, your team's probably all beaten up and battered. You're probably taking toxic damage from the toxic debris. You're probably switching around because you're playing on set mode, so Stealth Rocks is also doing its toll. She's probably crippled one of your Pokemon with that Golden Bro with the trick strategy. So it's holding a useless Choice Scarf that you may or may not be benefiting from. But if you guys remember from earlier, we had a Hippowdon who was holding a Smooth Rock. That was because of her last Pokemon. I know a lot of people said that they wanted Final Gambit. Not Final Gambit. They wanted King Gambit to be her last Pokemon because of Supreme Overlord. And while I think that is a novel strategy, I think that there is another. Let me introduce you to Paldea's final lesson that you will learn. This is your final test of the gym challenge, and you will have to overcome it. Houndstone.
What the dog doing?
2 words for you trainers. Last respects. I hope you have a normal type, and I hope that whoever she choice scarfed your Pokemon into is actually going to help you out here. That was my clever way of giving you a way to deal with this Pokemon, because it's holding a choice band. If you do not have a normal type, and if you do not have something that can resist Ghost, or something to outspeed this thing, last respects is going to be the last thing you see in this game, because it has the ability Sand Rush, which doubles its speed in the sandstorm. May Neptune have mercy on your soul. And I think I'm just gonna let this part play out right here. So I'm gonna dip out. I'm editor Sahlos. I gotta do my thing. So I'm gonna make this video look all pretty and nice, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Till then, deuces.